let's do a short practice. Make yourselves comfortable for a little meditation here. Close the eyes and relax. And we will continue with the process that we have been learning all along, which is the beginning step or stage in every deity meditation. And that is that we dissolve the substantiality of the body. And I have described this in a number of ways. And so the method that I find the most helpful is to feel that the body is becoming lighter and gradually becoming more translucent. And as I have described before, this is a process of shifting our attention from the earth and water elements, which give us a sensation of substance, heaviness, gravity, to the attention on the space element more, or the air element, which is also breathing, which is very light. Mostly the Vajra body, what we are doing is we are actually creating a body of space. But we're using our visualization capacity to assist us, our imagination capacity to assist us. And we're learning how to actually transform the internal subjective experience of the body. So see if you can just imagine and feel that the body becomes very light, very translucent, empty of substance, like a rainbow, as they say. Now, if we cultivate this, and I'm sure that all of you have to various degrees, then we can recognize several important things. First of all, we can recognize that this is something that we can get good at doing. We can do it over and over. And we can learn how to enter into this Vajra body of luminous, empty space that's like a rainbow over and over, faster and faster. But we will also learn that in this state, that the body sensations tend to feel better. This is a state of relaxation. We're learning how to relax. And the obvious implication here is that if we are in a body of space that's empty, then there are no blockages to circulation on any level. How can there be blockages if there's no substance? And therefore, what we're actually doing is learning how to enter into an empty body that has no blockages. See if you can feel that. This is actually a therapeutic aspect, a very healing aspect of this type of meditation. Now, no blockages means no pain. And this is a way that even when there are blockages and pain in the physical body, this is a way that people can learn to transcend it. They can still feel it down there somewhere in the earth and water elements, but it's not in the Vajra body. This is an experience of profound detachment when people in pain can actually learn how to enter into the Vajra body where they feel a relative state of ease, even though they still feel the sensations of pain. So let's start again and dissolve the substance of the body and enter into this luminous, empty form of ourselves. And let's feel that because it is empty, there are no blockages. And because there's no blockages, there's no pain. And this state of no blockages and no pain is an affirmation. It's a visualization of well-being. Now, this is where we can allow the mind to give rise to symbolic representations of this state. So we are in the Vajra body. It is empty. It is luminous. It is like a rainbow. There are no blockages. What does that form look like? If you were going to put this into cultural iconography and say, all right, this body now is wearing particular clothes, or it has a particular color that represents no blockages, what would that be? And this is probably getting pretty close to the symbology of a lot of the deities who are wearing these beautiful, beautiful kinds of, they have a beautiful divine wardrobe, and that divine wardrobe represents this kind of state of well-being, power, health, radiance. And not only do these symbols represent this freedom of blockages and this freedom from pain, it represents a high level of radiant well-being and health. And so now let's go one step further. And as we are visualizing ourselves in the Vajra body, and visualizing the Vajra body is empty and luminous, and visualizing this luminosity as having no blockages, and having no blockages meaning no pain, and having no pain meaning radiant well-being and health, then we can also assume that if we are dwelling in this state, that we're going to become increasingly happy, because happiness is a natural expression of no blockages and no pain. It's like a kind of happiness that doesn't need any specific causes other than no blockages. So happiness is a manifestation of no blockages and no pain. So let's feel the Vajra body as having no blockages because it's space. And let's feel it as having this very profound level of well-being because there's no blockages. And inside that, let's just imagine how happy that could make us. Now, just allow the mind to give rise to different symbolic representations of this happiness and this well-being. What kind of object would your hands be holding? Or what kind of aura would you have? The deities have radiant auras. What kind of posture would you be in? Would you be seated in a profound state of samadhi, or would you be dancing ecstatically? These are all forms that the deities come in different cultures, and they represent these things that are inside of ourselves. And so we can ask ourselves, if we are in the Vajra body and it is empty space, and it is like a rainbow, and there's no blockages, and there's this feeling of great freedom internally, freedom from pain because there's no blockages, because there's no substance. And because this is giving rise to deep, profound happiness and well-being, what does that look like? Just let our minds just create the deity itself. In other words, once we enter into that state, what does that look like symbolically to ourselves? And one step at a time, as we meditate on the qualities, then the symbols arise, as opposed to doing the other way around of meditating on the symbols first to create the states. Now we come to the next part. If we are in this Vajra body and it is empty and luminous and free of blockages, which means that we are free of discomfort and pain, which means that we feel deep happiness, and we are visualizing this in all of its different forms, then the next state that arises naturally is that from deep happiness comes great compassion. Organic, deep compassion, because when we have natural happiness that is arising from a state of freedom inside of ourselves, then we want others to feel that. We feel the pain of others naturally, but we also feel our own happiness coming from inside, and we would like to share that with others. And so therefore, this is a really big aspect of iconography of the deities, is that almost everything that the deities are doing, especially those related to the heart chakra, have to do with this enlightened activity of compassion coming from our heart. So therefore, we now allow the mind to give rise to our own symbology of what do I look like as a very compassionate person? What clothes am I wearing that represent compassion? What kind of ornaments? What kind of power objects? What am I doing? What is the posture? What is the facial expression? What is the aura? All of these things arise as representations of our own inner compassion taking form symbolically. And then finally, the last stage that we can consider here that will take us directly into the heart chakra is that happiness with compassion implies a desire to manifest good things, to do good work for right livelihood, to dedicate ourselves in some way, even if it's just doing this kind of meditation, to manifesting these things externally.